Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Master Duel Bystial Horus Nemeses deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Meli. And this deck is an extremely fun deck to play on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel because of all the amazing engines you're playing in this deck. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Again, your name, description, every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. And definitely give Meli some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Lubellion. This card is definitely a 3 of in the build, and it's just an awesome card to help you get to the rest of your Bystial cards. Because this card has the ability that you can actually tribute a level 6 or higher Dark Dragon monster to special summon this card from your hand or your graveyard. You can also send this card from your hand to the graveyard to add a Bystial monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really awesome effect to be able to get to any of your other Bystial monsters that you need, like your copy of Magnemite or Druid Worm. This card also has the ability during your main phase, you can place a branded continuous spell or trap from your deck face up on your side of the field, which is really good to be able to get to cards like your copies of Branded Regained or Branded Beast. We then play a single copy of Magnemite. Magnemite is really good as a 1 of in the build, and all of your level 6 Bystial monsters actually share a common effect that you can target a light or a dark monster in either player's graveyard and banish it, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand, and it's a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster, which is a really cool effect just to be able to special summon this card out to your side of the field. Now this card's unique ability is if this card is special summoned, you can activate the effect that during the end phase, you can add a dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is a great ability just to be able to get an additional dragon to your hand. We then play a single copy of Druid Worm. Druid Worm's really good at spot removing cards off the field, which is why I play this card as a 1 of in the deck. We then play a single copy of Saunir. Saunir is also great as a 1 of in the build, because this card has the ability if it's sent to the graveyard, you can send a Bystial monster or a branded spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard. We then play a single copy of Baldrake. Baldrake's really good to be able to play in the deck as well, because the other Bystial monsters are all at 1 currently in Master Duel between Magnemite, Druid Worm, and Saunir. So you want to play about 4 names in the deck, which is really good to be able to play 1 of each. We then play for the Horus engine. We're going to start off with 3 copies of Imseti. Imseti is really awesome as a 3 of in the build because this card can actually search King Sarcophagus. With the ability you can send this card and another card from your hand to the graveyard to add King Sarcophagus from your deck to your hand and then draw a card. And all of your Horus monsters share a common effect that if King Sarcophagus is on your side of the field, you can special summon them back from the grave. But you want to play 3 copies of Imseti because you want to be able to get to your copy of King Sarcophagus as quickly as possible. We then play just a single copy of Happy. I feel like you really only need a single copy of Happy to go along with your Horus package, and I feel like playing 2 names is the best way to be able to play this deck so that you don't break with the other names with the Horus engine. We then play 2 copies of Nemesis Flag. Nemesis Flag is really good in the deck as a 2 of because this card can actually search any of your other Nemesis monsters, which is great. This card is either let you target one of your banished monsters, except a copy of Nemesis Flag, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, shuffle that target back into the deck. Also, during your main phase, you can add a Nemesis monster from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to search out cards like Corridor from your deck to your hand, so you can summon out your copy of Thunder Dragon Colossus. This card is actually a 1-card Colossus, which is why I play this card as a 1 of in the deck, with the ability to target one of your banished monsters, except a copy of Corridor, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, shuffle that target back into the deck, which is a really awesome ability because it makes it so you activate a Thunder Monsters effect in your hand. This card also has a great ability that you can target one of your banished Nemesis monsters, except a copy of Corridor, and add it to your hand, which is a pretty cool ability to recycle your cards. We then play a single copy of Escantos. Escantos is great as a 1 of in the build. This card is absolutely insane. This card has the ability it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 monsters with different types from your graveyard and or face up from the field. It cannot be destroyed by card effects, and you also declare a monster card type on the field and destroy all monsters on the field with that type. Also, until the end of the next turn, neither player can special summon monsters with that type, which is really really a crazy effect to lock down your opponent. We then play a single copy of Protos. Protos is also pretty easy to get to in this build and just really insane to be able to play in the deck. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 monsters with different attributes from your graveyard and or face set from the field, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can also declare a monster card attribute on the field and destroy all monsters on the field with that attribute, and also until the end of the next turn, neither player can special summon monsters with that attribute, which is a really awesome floodgate-like effect to be able to use in the deck. Plus, these cards are really easy to get to in the build. We then play 3 copies of Black Metal Dragon. Black Metal Dragon is the best normal summon in the entire deck, because this card basically equals a copy of Seals, because it has the ability that if this card is sent from the field to the grave, you get to add a Red Eyes card from your deck to your hand. So you simply normal summon this card out to your side of the field, link it away for Striker Dragon, and once you link it away for a copy of Striker Dragon, you'll then search out your copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. You can then use Darkness Metal Dragon's effect to be able to banish a Striker Dragon off the field to special summon this card out to your side of the field, and then use its ability to bring back your copy of Black Metal Dragon to your side of the field, and then link them both away for a copy of Seals, which is a really cool ability. Plus, it gets you monsters in the graveyard that are dark, so you can use them with your Bystial monsters. We then play a single copy of Chaos Dragon Levinair. Chaos Dragon Levinair is just really good as a one-of in the build, especially since it's searchable off of Chaos Space. And it's really good because you banish a total of 3 light or dark monsters from your graveyard to be able to special summon this card. And if you only banish light monsters, you special summon a monster in the grave in defense. If you only banish dark, you shovel a random card from everyone's hand into the deck. You banish both light and dark to summon out this card, destroy up to 2 cards on the field, and it does not target, which is absolutely crazy. We then play 3 copies of Vision Resonator. Vision Resonator is really good as a 3F in the build, because if you have a level 5 or higher dark monster on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is a really cool effect just to help you go in for synchro plays. And it also has the ability, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a spell or trap card that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck to your hand, which is really cool because you can actually search out Crimson Gaia off this card's effect. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is really good as a 3F in the build, just to stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then also play, since it is a Master Duel deck profile, we're also playing 3 copies of Maxi. Maxi is insane that this card is still at 3 in Master Duel. It's just a really good 3F to play in just about any Master Duel deck. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get in to the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of 1 for 1. 1 for 1 is really good as a 1-up in the build, just to be able to get Black Metal Dragon out on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Crimson Gaia. Crimson Gaia helps out a lot in the build as a 1-up to be able to work with a copy of Vision Resonator, because it can actually search it from our deck to our hand. We then play a single copy of Branded Regained. Branded Regained is awesome to be able to work with our Bystial cards, and just a really powerful card overall, that if a light or dark monster is banished except during the damage step, you can target one of those monsters and place it on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, draw a card. Also, once per turn, if your opponent normally special summons a monster except during the damage step, you can target a Bystial monster in the grave and special summon it back to your side of the field, which is a really cool effect that you can loot through your copies of Druid Swarm, constantly spot removing cards off the field by putting it back on your side of the field off this card's ability. We then play a single copy of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator belongs in just about any Master Duel deck to basically stop your opponent's hand traps. Speaking of stopping hand traps, we also play 2 copies of Called by the Grave. This card is just really good at stopping hand traps. We then play 2 copies of Chaos Space. This card is amazing at helping you get to your copy of Lubellion or Chaos Dragon Levinair, which is just really good to be able to play this deck as a 2-of, because it has the ability you can send a light or dark monster from your hand to the grave to add a light or dark monster that cannot be normal summon or set from your deck to your hand with a level from 4 to 8, and with a different attribute than the monster that you sent to the graveyard for this card's ability, which is a pretty cool ability to be able to search out the exact card that you need. We can also play just 2 copies of King Sarcophagus. King Sarcophagus is really good in the deck, but Im said he can search it, which is why I just play this card as a 2-up. And it has the ability that Horus monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects that do not target them. And you can also send a card from your hand to the graveyard to send a Horus monster from your deck to the grave. And you can only activate that effect up to 4 times per turn, which is really cool because we're only playing 2 names in the deck, so it's very easy to get them in the grave off this card's effect. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing one, and that's going to be a single copy of Branded Beast. This card is really good as a one-of in the build because it has ability once per turn during the main phase. If you control a Bystial monster, you can tribute a dragon monster and then target a card your opponent controls and destroy it, which is great to be able to use this card as a pop on the field. Also, during the end phase, you can target a branded continuous spell or trap in the grave and place it face up on the field, which is a pretty cool ability to use your copy of Saunir to send Regain to the graveyard and then use Rebellion to put this card on your side of the field. And then during the end phase, put your copy of Regained back on your side of the field, which is great because you get your copy of Beast and Regain off of that play. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start with a single copy of Thunder Dragon Colossus. We can summon this card off our copy of Corridor, which is just really cool, but this card is an awesome floodgate to be able to just use in the build. We then play a single copy of Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is insane as a boss monster, and it's really easy to summon in this build using light and dark monsters, because if you use light monsters, then synchro monsters you control are unaffected by monster effects activated by your opponent. If you use dark, monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle, and you don't even have to use a tuner to summon out this card to your side of the field. It's just a really good one-of in the deck that also when it's summoned to your side of the field, you can target a card on the field and banish it. And then play a single copy of Dispatter. Dispatter is awesome because it brings back one of your banished light or dark monsters, plus it's a walking negate. Speaking of walking negate, since it is a Master Duel deck profile, we're also playing a single copy of Baron de Fleur. Baron's just really good to be able to play as a walking negate in the build. Then play a single copy of Scarred Dragon Archfiend. Scarred Dragon Archfiend is amazing in this build as a one-of because it counts as Red Dragon Archfiend while on the field in the grave. And if this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can special summon a Red Dragon Archfiend from your extract and it's treated as a synchro summon. Then, if this card was sent to the graveyard as a synchro material for a Dark Dragon synchro monster like a copy of Dispatter, you can actually destroy all attack monsters that your opponent controls, which is going to help you go in for game. We then play a single copy of Red Dragon Archfiend. Red Dragon Archfiend is amazing as a one-of in the build. To summon off your copy of Scarred Dragon Archfiend, just an awesome boss monster to be able to play. We then play a single copy of Psyframe Lord Omega. Omega is really good in the deck as a one-of because this card can just deal with the card in your opponent's hand. We then play a single copy of Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. If you have a copy of your Vision Resonator and a copy of a level 6 Bystial monster, you can make this card, and then once you do, you can bring back your copy of Vision Resonator from the graveyard to help you climb into a level 10. So this card is really good just to access level 10s if you can only get into a level 8. You can play a single copy of the Zombie Vampire. Zombie Vampire is amazing as a one-of in the build, just to be able to mill the top 4 cards of both players' decks and then bring back a monster in the grave to your side of the field. You can play a single copy of Photon Lord. Photon Lord is a walking negate, which is why I play this card as a one-of in the deck. You can play a single copy of Number 38. Number 38 is a spell negate, which is why I play this card as a one-of in the build. It's very easy to make in the deck. You can play a single copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight is really good in the deck because it's a double interruption. You can play Nightmare Unicorn if you want to instead, but it's still really good in the deck overall. You then play a single copy of IP. IP is really good to help you step into SP during the opponent's turn. And then play a single copy of Hieratic Seal. Hieratic Seal is very good in the deck and very accessible with your copy of Black Metal Dragon. And then we play a single copy of Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon is great to be able to work with Black Metal Dragon to be able to climb into your copy of Hieratic Seal, which gives you a bounce and lets you summon a dragon from the deck. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Bystial Horus Nemeses deck profile, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's really fun to be able to play, and it's absolutely crazy the amount of engines you play in this deck and how well the deck works. So that's gonna do for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad. We'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.